All right, so last time we talked about uh, finding the using the equation of the circle to find the center and the radius. So we first went through the process last time of deriving the uh, general formula for a circle, and that's our formula here: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, and then using that to find the center and the radius. So then we went through various examples. We finished up with these ones here where we were doing this process of completing the square uh, to get the equations into the right format so that we can then read off the center and work out what the radius is. Okay, so today we're going to begin with our second problem with circles, which deals with writing the equation of a circle. So the key idea here, as we write the equation of a circle, is of course our standard form. That if we know the center, HK, of our circle, and we know its radius, or actually if we just know r squared, radius squared, then we can write out the equation. So if we know those things, then we can write out the equation. So that becomes our task, is to try and figure out those things. Okay. So let's consider an example here. So what we're going to be looking for as we do these problems is, can we figure out these things? And very similar fashion to what we did with equations of lines, where we need to know the slope and the y-intercept. Our first objective is going to be figuring out the center. Our first objective is going to be figuring out the center, and then from there, using additional information to figure out r squared. So let's check this out. So we want to write the equation. In standard form. So let's say here that the center of our circle, in our first example, we actually know the center is at 2, 7, right? And we know our circle passes through let's say it passes through the point 3, 1. So just like our problems before where we knew the slope of the line, and we used the slope then and then along with the point, with these problems with the equation of the circle, if we know the center, let's go ahead and plug that in. So x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 7 quantity squared equals r squared. Then, very much like what we did with our equations of lines, we now take the other information we have here, in this case the 0.31, and we plug that into our equation there for x and y. Because what that's going to do is that'll give us an equation with only one missing piece. And it's exactly the missing piece that we want to find, the r squared. Okay. So in this case, 3 minus 1 squared. Sorry, 3 minus 2 squared. Get that right. It's x minus 2. 3 minus 2 squared plus 1 minus 7 squared equals r squared. And we just go through and we simplify. 3 minus 2 squared would be 1 squared, which would be 1. 1 minus 7 will be negative 6. Negative 6 squared would be positive 36. So I have 1 plus 36 equals 37. And so that is r squared. No need to take the square root or anything because the formula calls for r squared. And so we just take that information and write it down now. X minus 2 squared plus y minus 7 quantity squared equals 37. And now we have the equation of the circle that has a center at 2, 7. And it passes through the point 3, 1 in this case. All right, so that's just the first example here. In another video, we're going to do a couple more examples where we're looking at finding the equation. The key idea is, first of all, we need to know the center. So if that's given to us, awesome, we're a step ahead. If the center is not given to us, then we need to use the information that's given to us to figure out what that center is. And figure out what the center is. Once we know the center, we can then plug our additional point, because they actually will have to give us some kind of information that produces an additional point in for x and y, and we'll be able to then work out r squared. So very similar to what we did with that y equals mx plus b, where we find out the slope, plug that in, and then plug our point in for x and y, and then solve for b. So it is a very similar process to that.